So, everyone hearing me? Anybody hearing me? Okay, you can minimize that now, Tyler. There we go. We good? Awesome. Hey, Tyler, close the door. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and good evening to our European players, and good to see you. It's been a bit, obviously, since my last live stream, and today I think is going to be an interesting one. One of the worst things about running a game studio is having to deliver bad news. And certainly a couple of months ago, we had to deliver some very bad news. And that was difficult. Never enjoy it. And it really doesn't matter if it's bad news about a game being delayed, it's bad news about features being cut. That sort of stuff just frankly sucks. Today, on the other hand, today is a different day. Today is a great day. What am I going to tell you? I think certainly the IT folks in the room right now know exactly what I'm going to say, and I hope many of you also have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to say. I'm here to tell you that beginning on Wednesday this week, we are going to begin our pre-alpha testing for everyone in our game who had purchased a tier with alpha testing and above. So what does this mean? What this is going to mean is starting on Wednesday, everyone in those tiers, and again, those are alpha guys, those are IT guys, will be able to play in the exact same version of the engine that our IT folks are currently playing in. What we're going to start with is something that is going to be maybe a little bit unexpected. I think it's worth it, I think it's fun, and I'll explain why, but it may be a little bit unexpected to some folks. When we were late, we made a decision that we were going to, of course, continue to focus on tech. We were not going to try to push the game out too soon. We weren't going to try to put in more features from the finished game to try to either raise more money or to just get people excited. We were going to double down on tech and also make it a little bit of fun at the same time. So what you guys are going to be seeing is something that's in between a pure engine demo and a bit of a game at the same time. All of you who are in alpha will soon, probably today, be getting a rather lengthy FAQ which will tell you everything you need to know about what you're going to be seeing and playing in starting this week. What that is, so you've seen, obviously, for those who have seen any of our streams from the game, call it an instance, call it a battleground. We took that, made it a bit bigger, prettied it up a little bit, throw in some objectives into the game, and added a ton of abilities. You've seen our Banes and Boons. You've seen or heard about the character creation process. What you're going to be doing is coming into something that, frankly, is a game. It's not the game. It's certainly not the game we are going to make, but it is a game in and of itself that is fun to play, that has things like dots. It's got buffs. It's got debuffs. We've got projectiles. We've got projectiles that arc like catapults. We've got projectiles that will track you all across the map. We've got other projectiles that just fire, in a mostly straight line. We have lots of abilities. We've got heals in the game. We just have a lot of things that will allow you folks to actually have some fun while you're helping us debug and test probably some of the most important code in the game. And then as the networking code, the client server code, the idea of these finished abilities that obviously with our craft and ability system, whether it's magic or fighting, melee, excuse me, has to be in there. We have character persistence in there. We've got all sorts of other fun things in there. We've got fireballs that hit water balls and create steam. We've got walls. We've got all sorts of, kind of fun stuff already. And over the next few months, well, actually over the next 5 months, until we get into actual alpha testing, this pre-alpha test build will continue to get all the kind of finished, or I shouldn't say finished, that's a terrible word, up-to-date builds after our IT folks have beaten it all to heck. So whatever you see on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, whenever you come in, is actually not Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, by the way, is our current schedule, is going to be changed. It's going to be developed on. It's going to be improved. And as the weeks and months go by, you're going to be seeing more of the game actually make it into the build. That's, quite frankly, a lot of what we're going to be doing for the pre-alpha test 2 and 3, and however we break down, these tests. But over the next, say, just the next couple weeks, you guys and gals are going to be able to come into the game and play it. You're going to see exactly what the IT players have been beating on now for weeks. And right now I want to thank all of our IT testers who participated so fantastically in helping us get this ready for the pre-alpha test. We really wanted to make sure that what we put out was not only fun, but stable. And we've been beating on it, we've been knocking out bugs, and in the last few days, no server crashes, no slowdowns, not major certainly. We solved a whole bunch of client issues, and so it was great. So what's going to happen is, at the end of the day today, again, I'm going to be sending an email out to all of our backers explaining what has happened. I'm also going to send out maybe another email with the pre-alpha FAQ, which is going to tell you, again, everything you want to know, or hopefully everything you want to know about pre-alpha testing. I'll tell you the rules, the requirements, things like, don't stream it, don't distribute it, it's still under essentially an NDA. And just a whole lot more. For example, how to play your archetypes. And the archetypes, for example, are not classes. We didn't want to go with classes, because if we go with classes, then people start talking and saying, but this class isn't like you said it was. Well, that's why we're not using classes, because we're not at that point. But we do have archetypes. So we have a fighter archetype, we've got a mage archetype, and of course we have a healer archetype. And each of the different realms and each of the different archetypes have their own spells. So these are not mirrored spells. They are not identical. Already they are not identical between all the realms, neither are the abilities. We have a lot of the races in the game. Not all of them, a lot of them. So that's what you're going to be seeing in a nutshell. And starting on Wednesday, what we want you guys to do is, we're going to have, again, these different times. We want you to come in and help test, for example, the server queuing code, to help see, what changes I'm sure we're going to have to make. We want to see how the engine performs, or engine performs under higher load. Obviously, we've had some great help from our internal testers, but we need even more. And that's where you alpha folks come in. So the next, this week is just going to be about stress testing. After that, we're going to go to a more, hate the word regimented, but it is kind of regimented testing, where we're going to have different test times that you guys and gals can sign up for, depending on your current time zone or your work schedule. So we'll have 3 major time slots. Right now, late afternoon, early evening and then late evening. Times still to be determined, but it should be quite convenient for everyone in Europe, as well as the East Coast of the U.S. and the West Coast. Once you sign up for that time, you'll be given essentially a code. And that code will allow you into alpha tests during certain days. Now, why are we doing it this way instead of just having a ton of servers for everyone open all the time? Obviously, servers cost money. We're not asking for more. Servers cost money, and frankly, it doesn't make sense to keep spinning up large numbers of servers in the hopes that people either show up or in some cases don't show up. So we're going to break it down. You're going to know when and where your tests will be over the next few months. And then depending on how much traction these tests get, no matter, depending on how much you folks take advantage of it, then we can also make some other adjustments. So, that's it in a nutshell. We're really excited about this. Certainly having a game that the internal testers can tell you has been really stable over the last few days, where the number of server crashes have been pretty damn tiny, though we had one nasty slowdown bug that we think, maybe multiple slowdown bugs that we certainly looks like we've taken care of. But we're in really good shape. We're quite happy about it, as a matter of fact. I think, and I hope, all you folks in Alpha will be as well. You'll get to create a character, for example. I mentioned the Banes and Boons earlier that you've seen on our website. So you'll get a feel for what it'll be like once the game becomes more of a game, what the character creation process will be. So if you don't like it, you'll have the opportunity to tell us very early. If you do like it, well, obviously tell us that as well. You'll get a feel for what we've talked about during the BSC days about how in-depth character creation is, how important your choices are. That it is not a character creation program that you can simply go in, push a button, character's done. You're going to see just how many choices you're going to have, how many Banes and Boons we have already, which is over 400, though we do expect that number is going to go down. So that's pretty much what you're going to see, and we hope that you will be excited about it. Again, over the next few months, we will continue to add more. I've got whiteboards here full of the different features that will go into the game, and maybe not this week, but probably next week, we will of course post the PAT2 checklist, where you folks, just as you saw with the first PAT, will be able to see exactly what we're going to put in for the next PAT. You're going to see, just as we did the last time, how well we're doing on it. You'll be able to gauge our progress, on certainly a week-by-week basis, if not more often, depending on how quickly things go in. And of course, for those guys on our forums, you'll have a chance to talk to them about it. We're still there. We don't lurk. We certainly get involved in some discussions and talk to you folks about things like how to build mods for our UI, or we have discussions obviously about different aspects of the game. And so for those who haven't been on our forums and who get into alpha, that'd be great. I hope you guys do go into the forums and let us know what you think. So I think that's it for pre-alpha news. In general, other than that, everything goes well here.